Hey everyone, and thanks for jumping back into the cryptoverse. Today, we're going to talk about Bitcoin and the fact that it is now hitting immediate support levels. If you guys like the content, please subscribe to the channel, give the video a thumbs up, and also check out the Telegram channel, which you can find a link to in the description below. Let's go ahead and jump in. So we made a video earlier today, we made 3 videos earlier today, but we made some videos earlier today discussing these short-term price theoretical support levels. One of them being this somewhat dubious and only recently discussed 8-week moving average that we seem to be holding more or less as support so far in this very accelerated bull market, at least in terms of not really having any major corrections. Okay, it did not hold as support early on. Early on, we went to Old Faithful, the bull market support band, right? So that didn't change. We said we need to hold it as support to confirm the start of the bull market. We went down, we held it as support. Check, bull market started. And since then, we've basically been going up against the 8-week moving average. By the way, the 8-week moving average is now at a modest 51,200, and we've been flirting with that level already. Okay, already we're starting to flirt with that level. You can see the wick going close to it. So I just want people to recognize that, yes, I mean, we could have a larger correction coming. Of course, this is always a theoretical possibility, but so far, this is still the norm. I mean, we haven't really changed anything until we see a massive candle drop below this. And there is a decent chance that happens, but I also want to reiterate that me nor any other person in the world knows what's going to happen in the short term, okay? Short-term moves, as I've always said, it's a random walk, geometric Brownian motion. We cannot reliably predict them. In a bull market, everyone just has their little fancy short-term TA. As long as it ends with, and then the price goes up, they'll keep being right, because in a bull market, the price goes up. I see people say things like, well, this person kept getting it right, or wrong, or whatever. Remember, I mean, it either goes up, down, or sideways, so we have a pretty good chance of getting it right in the short term. So if you're following these short-term predictions, now that things have had a massive dump, now that Bitcoin has had a massive dump to where the price was 2 weeks ago, there's of course now people calling for huge dumps far below where the current price is. You're seeing things like $10,000, $15,000, $17,000, $20,000 Bitcoin. And of course, anything is possible. $20,000 Bitcoin was the prior top to the last market cycle. If we did go back to $20,000, it would sort of give a new meaning potentially to a sustainable $20,000 Bitcoin that we used to talk about. But regardless, I think we need to take this one step at a time and not jump to any conclusions. Back when Bitcoin was at $3,100, people were always calling for lower prices, right? So they're calling for $1,500 and $1,100 Bitcoin. And then now that prices have gone up relatively quickly, now people are calling for major dumps. And I agree, there could be a substantial correction along the way. But at the end of the day, no one really knows what's going to happen in the short term. What I would say is better is just, if you need to offload some risk when we're in a bull market, you can do so. And then if it pulls back down, you can come back into the market. But pretending like we know what's going to happen in the short term is not that useful, because no one really knows. If you look at enough analysis of anyone in the short term, including my own stuff, which I try to veer away from too much short-term stuff. And if I do short-term stuff, I'm the first person to admit that it's somewhat dubious. We have to realize that no one knows what will happen in the short term. Okay, no one. So we'll see if these shorter term moving averages hold. This is the 8-week moving average. Another one that we were talking about as well is the 50-day moving average. So let's pull up that 50-day moving average if I can find it. Here it is. So it is also holding as support as we speak, more or less. The 50-day moving average is right around $51,000. So we've come down to that level. It's the same level we went to back in January of 2021. We're currently at that 50-day moving average. Now, this bull market has gotten heated incredibly quickly, okay? and we flirted with our upper regression band. We have not had any weekly closes within the band. Okay, you can see that only we had wicks going into it. It's certainly possible that we have a nicer sustained correction where we come down, sort of test support for a while before ultimately trending higher. But I don't think that we're necessarily, I don't think that we have to do that. For instance, again, if you just look at some of these shorter term support things that we've been talking about, we haven't actually broken them yet. Okay, so if we break them, then yes, those will be the next areas to look for. You know, the 20-week moving average, maybe $40,000. In a couple weeks, the 20-week moving average will be at $40,000. So those would be the next areas to look in the event of a sustained correction, whether, you know, if this goes on for more than a couple weeks. But if it doesn't go on for more than a couple weeks, then of course everyone will change their tune relatively quickly. So I would say let's just have a plan. Make sure you know how to react no matter what happens. So if you do find yourself being overexposed to crypto and you want to sort of, you know, diversify yourself into stocks or into real estate or other places, there's nothing necessarily wrong with doing that. And don't listen to the people, in my opinion, you shouldn't listen to the people that always just tell you to hold forever, because where are they going to be at some point when your favorite altcoin drops 95%? Because it will happen. It's not a matter of if it will happen, it's more of a matter of when it will happen. Okay, so there's nothing wrong with systematically offloading profits in a bull market, ignoring the people that will tell you, you know, you're silly for not holding, and then eventually you'll be happy. So if you feel like you're overexposed, you can offload some of that risk. If you're happy with your exposure and you're just eager to buy the dip if it drops, but you don't want to offload your crypto, maybe for tax implications, right? There's nothing wrong with that. I've said before, I think time is on our side. Yes, we could have substantial corrections, but that doesn't change the fact that I do think the entire asset class as a whole will trend to approximately $10 trillion this market cycle, plus or minus a few trillion, right? What's a few trillion among friends? I know we're always thinking about that every time we go to sleep. So let's just take it one step at a time. Testing the 8-week moving average, which is what we've been sort of holding for the last 6 months. Testing the 50-day moving average, which is what we held in January of 2021. We'll see if these levels hold. These were the first areas of support we talked about earlier today. Now we're testing those levels now. If those fail to hold, then we'll look at the next areas in a future video. If you guys like the content, make sure you subscribe to the channel, give the video a thumbs up. Also check out the Telegram channel, which you can find a link to in the description below. We are ending the altcoin season sale the last day of March. Okay, so the last day of March, we've had this sale going on forever. I just wanted people to get the chance to get in at the lower rate, because we're not going to bring them back down to these levels, at least not for the entire package. I don't know if I'll separate things in the future, but I have no immediate plans to do that. If you want to get access at the lower rate, sign up in March. The price, the current price will disappear on April 1st. Okay, it'll disappear on April 1st. So make sure you sign up if you guys want access to the premium reports and videos, the Telegram alerts channel, the Telegram chat room, the risk dashboard, the Into the Cryptoverse app, the premium only live streams, and more. Make sure you guys check it out. You can find a link to that in the description below. Thank you guys for tuning in. At the very least, subscribe to the channel. Let's go for a modest 260,000 subscribers. 300K, here we come. Subscribe, give the video a thumbs up, turn on your notifications. Thank you guys for tuning in. I will see you next time. Bye.